Bro.
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 Bro. Daniel Bryan is the 9/11 of WrestleMania 34. It's a joke, right? But out of context, that shit sounds terrible.
Heel Nakamura is best for business. The Nutcracker Prince or whatever you want to call him. I'm all about
That's
it.
a t-shirt. Well, he was right about this. Well, of course he was, man. He also predicted 3 other things to happen with that same prediction. Like,
Bro.
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 bro,
Bro.
bro,
Bro.
bro.
Say hello to the bald guy.
And bow down to your king.
This is Drive-By. Welcome everyone, and thanks for checking out what we do and going on a ride along with us for this drive-by. I, of course, am Mike Shooter Marcus. With me, as always, the other half of this delicious duo, King of Nerds, Mike Forrest. What's up, Mike?
King abides, the king abides.
Hey man, have you seen any cool t-shirts lately?
I have seen one very cool t-shirt lately.
Yeah, me too. It's pretty bloody.
It's pretty sweet. It is pretty sweet. And it's an actual real t-shirt that you like. If you pay money for it, it will show up.
All I know is if my claim to fame is this, I'll be okay with it. But creating a cover for our show that then got turned into a legit piece of merch for New Japan, I think that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, if you guys are fans of the show, you saw our cover art for last week's show, or the week before last.
2 weeks ago. Episode 60.
You'd have seen that Mike created this lovely Tama Tonga Rambo First Blood mashup and tweeted it to Tama Tonga himself, who saw it, posted it again on his Instagram. Our tag is on it and everything.
Yeah, buddy.
And then we wake up to a message on Twitter from none other than Pro Wrestling Tees saying they would like that Tama Tonga has seen the shirt and wants them to make it. And I mean, aside from just a couple little tweaks here and there, it's the same exact shirt or like picture.
Yeah, it's pretty.
And it is now available on ProWrestlingTees.com and probably in their store. Man, how crazy is that?
Yeah, it's something. I mean, if you'd have told me, when I started doing a wrestling podcast that, hey, before you ever break any numbers that you want on listens, you're probably going to have a t-shirt that you created in a Pro Wrestling Tee store. I'd be like, yeah, whatever, man.
And we've received absolutely no rub for it whatsoever.
No. None whatsoever.
I've gained no followers, no listeners, no traction. Not even
it's
a free
amazing.
shirt so far.
Not yet. We're working on it.
How the fuck does that happen?
I am not above shaming them into it because I have the tweet that said they're going to hook me up with some freebies. So
the fuck does it happen that we don't even get any kind of fucking rub off this? None whatsoever. You created a fucking piece of Bullet Club merchandise. Not just like New Japan merchandise. You created a fucking piece of Bullet Club merchandise because he's in the Bullet Club. I don't give a shit. If you're in the Bullet Club, your merchandise is Bullet Club merchandise. I don't give a shit. If we had to count Buff Bagwell's fucking merch as NWO merch, this shit is fucking Bullet Club merchandise. We created you created, I'm going to keep saying we. We created.
It's fine, you can say we. It's okay.
It's alright, I'm riding these coattails. We created this piece of Bullet Club merch and did nothing. Fucking nothing.
Well, Mike, I mean,
if they would just even retweet the fucking tweet.
Maybe.
I'm not complaining, right? It's cool. I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
It just seems like, and I'm not putting that on them, right? Like, it's not on them. It's just funny to me that we've created, that sounds like something that, like, your woman says when she's drunk and mad at you. It's just funny to me that, like, legit have created here a piece of Bullet Club merchandise and have received no rub for it whatsoever. And I'm not saying they should retweet us or anything. It's just like, how crazy is it you think that this would end up being dope as fuck for you? Which it is. It is. It's cool as fuck. But, like, you would assume going in, there's some kind of rub? None. Zero rub. Zero rubbing.
Thus far, I guess what I'm holding on to and hoping for is that maybe he wears it on New Japan TV soon. And, you know, then I can start a Twitter kind of correspondence there, and hopefully that blows it up. But hey, who the hell knows? It's wrestling, man. And wrestling fans are fucking weird, dude.
They really are. Anyway, what do we got to talk about this week, man?
Anyway, well, like, I think, you know, I guess we kind of technically started talking New Japan. I'm gonna go and dip my toes with you. We're gonna hand in hand walk over to this meadow, Mike, and there's this pond that you and we just never swim in, and we're gonna dip our toes in it and probably talk about something we know nothing about. But hey, it's our show, we can do that, right?
What pond is it?
It's the Impact Wrestling pond.
Oh shit, man! No, we don't know anything about that pond. Like, no. I didn't even, sometimes I forget that pond is even there still.
I thought that pond dried up, but apparently, at least according to the internet wrestling community, and I'm quoting several Twitter users on this, Impact had the pay-per-view of the year this past Sunday. Let me rephrase that. Impact had the pro wrestling pay-per-view of the year, according to the internet wrestling community.
Okay, well, one, I watched Wrestle Kingdom and Dominion, so there's that. There's no way. There's no way, I'm sorry. There's no way. Look, you fuckers, now I'm gonna have to watch this tonight. Man.
Well, but that, you know, here's...
Just so I can adequately talk shit. See, that's my problem. It's like, I want to right now, I want to just, viciously shred how dumb this statement is. But I can't. I can't allow myself, because I don't speak on shit before I've educated myself on it adequately. But it seems like an impossibility.
It does. And, I mean, hey, give credit where credit's due. If they got the, IWC talking this way, good on them. That's awesome. And, I'm not an Impact fan. I was never a TNA fan. I probably have watched a total of maybe an hour worth of TNA/Impact Wrestling in my entire life. And that's only if you exclude the final deletion stuff, because I don't really count that.
Dude, I can't even tell you who their fucking champion is.
It's you.
What?
It's Austin Aries, man. It's your lookalike.
Oh, man, shut up with that shit.
I think. I don't know.
I knew he was champion, but I thought he lost it. Is he champion again?
I don't know. He's got 15 belts. I can't keep them all together.
I'll be honest with you. I've seen a lot of good talk about what they're trying to do recently, so I'm not going to hate on it. But it just sounds like...
Don Callis is over there, man, and the guys are wrestling. I mean, he's pretty smart when it comes to wrestling. I don't want to go as far as say a wrestling genius, but I mean, he knows the business. He's knowledgeable. He's ran his own promotion before.
Bro, I'm sorry to interrupt, bro, but I gotta step in right here, bro. You're gonna sit here and talk and say Don Callis, bro. You have made fun of me many times on this show, Mr. Michael Marcus. I am not unaware of you. You are nothing but a mark.
Well, that's fair.
That's all you are, sir. And I'll tell you, bro, if me, Vince Russo, was still there, they would be achieving heights that they've never seen, bro. Russo out.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, where did that come from? He has never busted up in here before.
Not once. That was interesting.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But, okay. So, as I said, good for them. But... we're going to get in a little bit more in depth on this, but something I did notice, someone who is part of the IWC, a big part and a big I don't want to say anti, but he just criticizes literally everything that WWE does, is one JD from New York. I did see him say high praise for this show. Then he mentioned wanting to do possibly an Impact review for his YouTube channel, and I saw that where he put, the show was shit, I'm not going to review it. Now, he's hypercritical of everything. That being said, he just said how awesome the pay-per-view was, and the show was so bad he won't even review it. That doesn't make me feel really good about where Impact's going.
Not really at all.
But when we encompass this, Mike, I guess we really need to look at the state of the pro wrestling business. You have Impact, again, fans saying it was the best pay-per-view of the year. Yeah, I mean, I guess across the board, WWE, Ring of Honor, New Japan, that's what people were saying. That's how I have to take it. You've got Ring of Honor and New Japan coming together at Madison Square Garden on WrestleMania weekend this coming year, 2019. I mean, if you take a look, and I know you're a New Japan fan, I don't know how far back you go, but if you look, I mean, you and I we've both been wrestling fans for our whole life. 20 years ago, we'll say 20 years ago, we're both about 16 years old. What the hell did you know about New Japan Pro Wrestling?
You know what I knew about New Japan Pro Wrestling? Scott Flash Norton, baby.
Thank you, Mike.
That's what I knew.
And I guess the point that I'm trying to make there is how healthy pro wrestling is right now. It's probably, arguably, at least worldwide, the biggest it's ever been. Wouldn't you have to agree with that?
Worldwide ever. Yeah, definitely. That's for sure. It's bigger in a lot of different ways. I think the problem people want to say with bigger is everyone wants to go back to the golden era of the 90s. Vince Russo even.
Right, Attitude Era, blah, blah, blah.
Attitude Era. If you ever listen to him, he keeps going back talking about the 8 million combined audience, right? Well, let's be honest. That number was probably more like 6, right?
Oh, yeah.
6.
I watched both. You watched both.
Yeah, that number was probably more like 6. And on top of that, unless you were one of the big two, and for a while there, ECW, it was unlikely you were going to survive. There were no indie paydays. There were no... The wrestling fan community, I don't think, was as passionate. Outside of Stone Cold and the NWO, most people I know that watched wrestling didn't give a shit about what was happening outside of Stone Cold and the NWO.
Right.
They're fair weather fans. But right now you've got a passionate hardcore base, and I don't think your fan base has ever been like worldwide bigger. I don't think in America your passionate fan base has ever been stronger. And this is maybe the healthiest time for pro wrestling worldwide ever? Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I don't even think we can argue that, Mike. Like, granted, yes, you know, you want to argue this the 8 million viewers that Vince Russo will always throw up there during his heyday, but you're right. Like, we've talked about this before, man. Like, we were the kids who always watched wrestling, and then you go into, you know, high school and the Attitude Era, and now everybody likes wrestling. You're like, man, get off my shit. You know what I mean?
I remember the summer between... I remember, like, finishing 8th grade in 1996. And having to hide that I was a wrestling fan. To starting freshman year of high school, and there was 1 million NWO shirts. It was a weird thing. There were certain people and things that you could DX. But that was product of the time. That'll never happen again. And outside of those things, they didn't care about wrestling. You'd be sitting next to a kid.
They didn't care about anything but the NWO and Stone Cold.
You'd be sitting next to a kid wearing an NWO shirt, and you'd be like, yo, man, you like wrestling? And they'd be like, yeah. And you'd be like, yo, you see that Kidman Ultimo Dragon match last night? And they'd be like, nah, man, I'm an NWO fan. You'd be like, bitch.
Yeah, and I think that's the point. Is right now, like, even in America, maybe the size of the crowd that likes pro wrestling is not as big, but the hardcore, like, fan base, the people who are literally into it and love it, are gonna stay there, and they're stronger, and I think that's important.
Yeah, that's definitely important. We're at a point now where you're probably not gonna lose fan base. Like WWE, you're not gonna lose the fans that grow out of it are gonna always be replaced, right?
Yeah, 100%.
They're always gonna be replaced by new kids coming in. But the people like you and me, we're always gonna be there. And they're at a point where, like, their core audience is always going to be there. Wrestling's core audience is solid as hell now.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more, man. I could not agree more. Now, I guess we're talking about New Japan, we're talking about Ring of Honor, we're talking about WWE, we're talking about all this, I guess, competition for each other, and, you hear it all the time. You hear some of the guys and girls and fans who maybe don't care about the WWE product, don't like the WWE product, and you'll sometimes get it. Oh, look at this. WWE is in trouble. Look at New Japan and Ring of Honor making this push for Madison Square Garden, and, the ratings are down, and WWE is going to fail. What, in your honest opinion, like, I guess let me just rephrase this. In your honest opinion, is WWE in trouble, or are they just too big to fail?
Nah, they're almost like fail-proof at this point. They've transitioned from, I think it happened after they bought WCW.
Right.
Sometime in the 2000s, I think it really happened. But they're not a wrestling company anymore. They're an American institution. If that makes sense. They're like
pop culture.
Yes, they're a pop
are a
culture.
fabric of America.
Yes, they're part of America now. They're American culture. And it's not it's the NFL, it's the NBA, it's baseball. It's not going anywhere. UFC is maybe there. Not quite yet, I don't think.
I would say UFC is the MMA version of it. Yes, I would agree with you.
Yeah, okay. So they don't ever have to worry about anything. There's always going to be dips in the audience here and there. Obviously, their quality is always going to have a bearing on the audience because there are people that are just done. I've got a buddy. He's one of our MVPs, David Patterson. This dude tells me every 6 months, he's like, after the next big pay-per-view, I think I'm going to take a break. Whatever the next big pay-per-view is, either SummerSlam or Rumble, he's like, after SummerSlam, I think I'm going to take a break till, like, October. He never does.
No.
But there are people that do
does.
take breaks from it. There are people that just can't take it anymore. But I don't think that they're ever... Again, you and me are always going to be here, you know what I'm saying?
And there's
plenty
of us.
There's a million
out there.
of us. There's a million of us. Just like Eminem said, there's a million of us. Just like me.
And I think it's almost laughable when people talk about how the ratings are down and this is down and the houses are down, and obviously that shows that they're going to fail, and they seem to keep forgetting that these guys just signed $2 billion separate $1 billion deals. $2 billion deals.
I don't know if you know how much $1 billion is, people, but it's a lot of money.
Right.
It's like you ain't going nowhere. It's like you really have to mess up to fail with $2 billion in your pocket.
And let's not act like they don't know how to manage money. Are they going to use some of that to throw some money around to get some guys and girls that maybe they didn't think they could land to keep them out of competition hands? Yeah, I'm sure they're going to try.
I heard if you like, share, and comment that Vince McMahon's going to send everyone $100.
Oh, He's on that Tyler Perry shit, is he?
Yep.
Nice. Well, everybody, like, share, and comment on the link for the show.
Vincent
Give it a review.
$1,000. Oh, it just went up to $1,000, people. Vincent McMahon's going to send everyone $1,000.
If you give Drive By with Shooter a 5-star review, Vincent McMahon himself will send you a brand new $5,000 bill.
$5,000 it's up to now, people.
Yep. Amazing. Mike, we're going to take a quick break. And we have some groundbreaking stuff to talk about. And I think this could get very interesting. It's maybe a revolution? Or is it a little bit of an evolution? I don't know. We'll decide on that when we come back. Hang tight. We'll be right back.
And now, a reading of the Transformers theme song, as read by Enzo Amore. Something evil's watching over you, coming from the sky above. There's nothing you can do. Prepare to strike. There'll be no place to run when you're caught within the grip of the evil Megatron. How you doing? Transformers. More than meets the eye. Transformers. They're robots in disguise. Strong enough to break the bravest heart. We have to pull together. We can't stay worlds apart. To stand divided, we will surely fall until our darkest hour, when the light will save us all. How you doing? Transformers. More than meets the eye. Transformers. Robots in disguise. Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. Transformers! It's Judgment Day. And now we've made our stand. For now the powers of darkness been driven from our land. The battle's over, but the war's just begun. And this way it will remain till the day when all are one. Transformers! More than meets the eye. Transformers! They're robots in disguise. Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. Transformers! More than meets the eye. How you doing? Consensual penis.
That's awkward going into this, Mike, but something that I want to bring up. Something that I want to bring up is that evolution is a mystery.
That's
full
what I
of
hear.
change that no one sees.
That's what I hear.
Clock makes a fool of history. Yesterday, so long ago. Don't agree with what I know. Tomorrow, got no place to be. I'm not sure if you knew that, but that is evolution.
I remember learning that in 7th grade science.
But, Mike, the other evolution that we want to talk about, how great would it be if that song plays? The other evolution that we want to talk about is the all-women WWE pay-per-view that is going to be happening in October this year, WWE Evolution. And I honestly am pretty pumped for this, man. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, do you think it'll end with, like, actual Evolution coming out and just, like, destroying all the women in the ring? I'm talking
Boy, wouldn't that be
Batista, Orton. Like, the women are celebrating at the end. Oh, look at this wonderful thing we've done. And you just hear it. Evolution is a mystery. It's just like Lemmy out of nowhere. And they just come down, all 4 of them, and just shithouse. Like 8 chicks.
I mean, I don't think it would be a very good look.
So why call it Evolution if you're not going to have them come out and sledgehammer people?
Well, we'll get into that. But yeah, Mike, I mean, here we are, WWE. Yes, WWE putting on their very first all-women, woman-exclusive pay-per-view. I'm excited for it. I think that I'm oddly surprised by some of the fans' reaction, I guess. I mean, I've seen multiple people... Like, this is what I don't understand, Mike. No, WWE didn't sit there and say, first of all, to defend them for a second, they didn't sit there and say, this is the first time there has ever been, in any way, shape, or form, an all-woman wrestling pay-per-view. They did not say that. They said for the first time ever, WWE is presenting an all-female pay-per-view, right?
That, as far as I can tell, is what they said.
Okay. So, like, this should be something that, I mean, if you're a women's wrestling fan, a fan of women's wrestling, you should be happy about this. If you're a fan of, I guess, equality, is that what I want to say? Then you should be happy about this. If you're a fan of any of these females on the roster and you like what they do, you like what they contribute to WWE, and you like what all women as a whole contribute to pro wrestling, then you should be happy about this. Instead, you have people taking shots. You know, I saw an Impact-related Twitter account say something to the effect of, we did it first, because of the 2015 one-night-only special that TNA apparently used to do, and they had an all-women's one. And this is a one-time thing. I don't know if Evolution's going to be repeated every year, but this was a one-time thing. They had a one-time, one-night-only knockout pay-per-view. They did it with the X Division. They did it with all these different titles, so they've done it before. It just happened to be they landed on the women that time, and that's awesome, man. That's groundbreaking. TNA, if there's one thing TNA probably doesn't get the credit for, it is they did get to this dance a little bit earlier than WWE, and hey, good for them, man, right?
Yeah, man, right on.
But as a response to that, as I said on Twitter, when someone actually said, why can't we just be happy that this is happening instead of bringing up we did it first? My response was, because maybe they didn't make an impact. See what I did?
Zing!
See what I did?
I can tell you have kids. Fucking
well,
dad
you know.
joke.
But, like, seriously, man, like, did you know that they had an all-women's pay-per-view? Because I sure didn't.
Oh, if a tree falls in the woods, no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound? No.
I mean...
No, it doesn't. Or yes, it does. It depends on how you look at it. The point is, no, I didn't know about this. Who the fuck knew about this, man? There was like 8 people in them woods that day that tree fell.
Exactly. So, I mean, I get the point. Like, let's just be, like, this is a good thing. Let's just be happy and positive that it's going on. You know, I saw another quote where people literally said, WWE having an all-women's pay-per-view, congratulations, they're finally breaking down the walls that they put up. And I just think that's an absolute ridiculous statement.
I mean, okay, they didn't put up any walls. First of all, let's look at WWE's women division as a whole since, I guess since Alundra Blaze left, right?
That's fair.
Let's go back to it.
Fair starting point.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It has been reflective of the times.
Yes.
If that makes sense. So through the 90s, in the early 2000s, really, they were more like an extension of the 90s. Women in popular media were basically portrayed by Pamela Anderson, right? She was the it woman of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And Pamela Anderson was essentially she was a doll, right? She was essentially, God, this is going to sound real fucking terrible what I'm about to say.
She was a living Barbie doll.
Nah, she wasn't even like, yeah, right? But here's the other thing. It wasn't even that she was like a living Barbie doll, right? She was, God, I really don't want to say what I'm about to say, but I'm about to fucking say it, right? Pamela Anderson.
Man. Just get it out, it'll feel better.
Pamela Anderson, you know those like $5,000 fuck dolls that they make? That's basically Pamela Anderson was was like a living fuck doll, right? She didn't have any like personality to her. There was nothing really about her, right? Other than she was like the most fuckable woman in the fucking world for like 8 years, right? And that's it. That is it. And that's
right until Tommy Lee got to her.
And even then, man, even now. But anyway, the point is, the women in popular media were portrayed as these, like, essentially, like, I got a buddy who's got a girlfriend, and we describe her as just, like, she's just this, like, empty human-shaped space. She's super nice girl, she's cute, whatever. But she's just this, like, human-shaped void that sits next to him. Right? And that's kind of what Pamela Anderson was, except like smoking hot. And that's what women were in action films, all media of the time. Women were essentially these like smoking hot personality voids. They were black holes of personality because they didn't fucking have to be, because they were prizes to be won and lost and be cute on your arm. And that is what wrestling was reflective of. Liz was a prize to be won or lost. Later on, we got into, then that was probably the start of it. And then you had like the bra and panties matches started, right? Sable, Sunny. Sunny was nothing more than like, she didn't even offer like storyline value or in-ring value. At least they were tried to wrestle. Sunny was just like, hey, look at me. I'm just the thing you want to fuck. That's it. That's all I am here to offer. Is just this attractive thing here. So wrestling reflected that time, pop culture, the way women were treated. Then you moved into like the like 2000s, the late 2000s, the early teens. You're starting to come into this like, no, women, we got to start like treating women equally in media. And it's not that women weren't treated equally in the world or America. It's just that media started to take a turn. Women could be strong and beautiful, right? And they tried that. Divas was trying to be this combination of strong and beautiful. Right. But there was still very much a stressor on beautiful. Because you still had... Now Sex and the City was crack-a-lacking, you know what I'm saying? So now women can be like sexually progressive. But like I think media at the time, Paris Hilton was the it girl, right?
Right.
She was kind of known for being a hoe bag. So they were trying to mar this like you could be a strong woman, but also be like a dumb hoe. And that was the divas, right? That's how we got the Bellas. That's how we got all that shit. And then that transition happened where it became women really started speaking out. Hey, like, we don't even like being portrayed like this. Like, if you want to be a hoe, it's fine, be a hoe. But we can just be athletes. And it doesn't have to be this combination of pretty and I guess as athletic as you can get while still being pretty. Now it's like, we want athletes. And if they're pretty, right on. And not even pretty, I mean like girly. They always had to be like girly, you know what I mean? Oh, I'm a girl. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm a girl. I'm so girly. And that was always the main priority. Are they pretty? Are they girly? Are they athletic? Now it's, are you athletic? And then, whatever, man. We'll figure it out after that. So, if you're going to complain about what this company did or what like, they didn't put any walls up, man. They just followed society's lead. That's all they did.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something I actually have written in my notes, Mike, is like, if there's one thing that WWE does almost, I venture to say perfect, but they go with what society is giving at the time. Like, they're a reflection, man. Like, fans can't even argue that. So, like, to say that they put these walls up is just horseshit. These were walls that were there from society, and yeah, they played into it. You want to blame them for that, blame them for that. But it wasn't like they did this. It wasn't like, and I know that people get on their high horse and give Steph shit and say, well, AJ Lee started this, give a divas a chance hashtag and doesn't get credit, and Stephanie McMahon didn't do shit, and we're going to get into that and break that down in a little bit. But, like...
Oh, so I should save it. Okay.
I mean, just... Could they have been progressive a little sooner? Sure, maybe. But they were doing what everybody else was doing. And they were portraying women in a way that women were portrayed in media in the world at that time. You know, nobody complained when these women were stripping each other down in bra and panties matches. We all loved it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Would we look at that now and think that it's ridiculous? Abso-frickin-lutely.
Yeah.
But that's because society has changed. So, I think it's very unfair to put WWE in a box that you're not putting anybody else in when it comes to the shit they did in media and TV towards women, right? And I mean, everyone gave shit to WWE for going to Saudi Arabia because they couldn't include the women, and no one wanted to think about the fact that, as you said, they're beheading motherfuckers over there. Like, you can't just put them over there and hope that things go well. It ain't gonna.
I still don't get how no one gets that. They could have put them on the Saudi Arabia card. Do you not get that they cut your fucking head off if you do the wrong thing over there?
Mike, because they look at it as, well, then the WWE never should have took their dirty oil money. Well, you know what, man? They're a business and they make money. That's what they do. Okay? I work for a billion-dollar company, man. And I guarantee you, if Saudi Arabia said, hey, bring your company over here and no women can work there, we're going to pay you millions of dollars, my company's going to sign up for that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just like, and here's the same thing. I bet if the same Saudi Arabia billionaires offered you the same amount of money and were like, your wife can't sit at your dinner table for a year, you would do it. Or,
well, honey,
as far as that goes, your wife can't sit at your dinner table forever. And you would be like, alright, okay, guess we're eating in the living room forever, honey. Like, you would just like dinner parties, wife gotta stand. Like, you'd be okay with that, man. Like, so get off your... Quit. This is a saying my brother always used to say to our parents when they get on him about something. He'd be like, quit fisting my dick. And that's how I feel about it. Just quit fisting their dick, man. Just get off of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just... It's frustrating as a fan. Look, WWE is far from perfect. But, again, we kind of discussed this last week when we talked about the fans doing a countdown clock during the Iron Man match of Extreme Rules. If WWE is doing something that, whether you feel is groundbreaking or not, this is historical and groundbreaking. I don't care if you disagree or don't disagree, it is. But again, if you're just going to fly in the face of it and, talk shit on them for, well, you should have done it 10 years ago or this, that, and the other, like, well, if 10 years ago it should have been done, maybe it should have been done 15 years ago or maybe 20 years ago. Like, it didn't make sense then. It makes sense now.
Why didn't we do it in the 30s?
Hell, you know what? Why don't we just fire all the men and have an all-women roster, right?
Hell, why don't we just invent a time machine? We'll get a DeLorean. We'll get that sumbitch up to 88 miles mph, so that way it'll necessitate that we can get 121 gigawatts running through the fucking flex capacitor. We'll go all the way
more,
back.
no less.
We'll go all the way back to the start of mankind, and we'll go back and we'll call powwow. It'll be me, you, and the first two other fucking dudes with swinging dicks out in the world, and we'll be like, hey guys, we gotta start treating these women like fucking equals, okay? Like, this whole thing's gotta change. Or otherwise, in 2000 and fucking however many years you want to consider the Earth old, we're gonna have a lot of people griping on the fucking internet about a goddamn pay-per-view.
And they're gonna say, what's an internet and a pay-per-view?
Because that's what it's gonna take to switch it. A fictional fucking concept where you go back to the start of humankind and you wholesale recreate how fucking men and women have interacted for the last thousands and thousands of fucking years. Ooh. And that's it. There you go. Problem solved, motherfuckers. Problem solved. We'll get Guy Pearce on the phone. I hear he's got a way at fucking time machine. That's a reference to a fucking movie that 8 people saw in 2001. You get on the horn. How are we to know it wasn't going to be that good? He was just coming off Memento. Memento was brilliant. We were like, yo, it's the dude from Memento. Wrong. So anyway, that's what it's going to take. If you want women treated equally the same as men right now, all you have to do is study, probably engineering, physics
for sure,
some kind of mathematics, string theory. So like you need like 30 years of schooling and like at least 3 major subjects. And so, get started now, and then, I guess, maybe...
change the world.
Go ahead and change the world.
Mm-hmm.
Please let us know. I know nothing will seem different to us, but when you get back, can you let us know for letting you know that you needed to build a time machine? I'd appreciate that. I want you to, like, save this podcast and come back and play it for us, and we'll be like, oh my gosh... That's crazy. Then you can like live in this world where the women's title has always been around, and we had some fucking woman in the 80s that was the female Hulk Hogan also, and just it's the greatest everything that's graded ever. I fucking hate wrestling fans.
All I know, Mike, is I really, really, really hope that whoever does this can bring me back a Gray Sports Almanac and, you know, hook a brother up.
Hoverboard.
So we're going to wrap this part of this evolution talk up. We got a little more to touch on, but I wanted to bring you this, man. There's this
as long
thing...
as they don't bring us a pasty Jeremy Irons. Oh, he's the bad guy. He's the bad guy in the Guy Pearce Time Machine movie from 2001 that no one saw.
Nobody saw that.
Oh, he's got long white hair. It's probably his most embarrassing thing he's been a part of ever. But to Guy Pearce... probably the 4th or 5th least embarrassing thing he's ever done. Weird how that works for people.
It is. So this I'm gonna read this to you. I almost word for word.
Guy Pearce was almost Batman when Christian Bale was. Like he was one of the final 3 dudes up for that. Like, can you imagine?
Really stuck on this Guy Pearce thing,
could you imagine being one of the final 3 motherfuckers up for Batman? But instead you're Guy Pearce.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? You know Josh Hartnett turned it down? And now he's just isn't that the dude that was in Halloween H2O? Yeah, man.
Yep.
Damn, dude. Now you making out with gay vampires on that Penny Dreadful show.
Don't watch that show. So anyway... I gotta read this to you because it's going around as of, I think I read it Thursday night. As of Friday, it started to get a lot of traction on social media and kind of getting the IWC's feathers all ruffled. And I'm going to be quite honest with you, this has to be an absolute troll, okay? But this is somebody claiming to have inside information and wrote this up saying this is what's going to happen at Evolution. Are you ready for this, Mike?
Lay it on me.
Okay. Braun and Roman are expected to feud post-SummerSlam. WWE has been planning on involving Alexa Bliss in the feud. The idea is for Alexa to say that no woman on the roster but her deserves Evolution, the All Women's pay-per-view. Roman is I can't even read this without laughing, dude. Roman is expected to be the defender of the honor of the women. The idea is that since Roman is supporting a good cause, the fans will not boo him. Braun is expected to play the role of the misogynist, while Roman, being his foil, playing the activist, fighting for the rights of women. The idea, I'm actually reading this word for word, so when you hear the weird, grammar, it's because it's how this is written, which is another thing that makes me say this is total BS. The idea is to have Roman make history, being one of the 2 men to wrestle at the All Women's pay-per-view. The match is expected to be a honor of woman, defended by Roman Reigns, versus Universal title, defended by Braun Strowman. This is such horseshit. Every female member of the roster is expected to be in Roman's corner. This match is expected to main event the night. The idea is to close the show with Roman celebrating after Ronda Rousey raises his hand. WWE firmly believes that this will get fans to cheer Roman Reigns. End scene.
There's... What?
Mike, the best part is there's people literally on the internet right now saying, I cannot believe they would do this. When this happens, I'm done with WWE.
People believe this?
Apparently.
Go fucking kill yourself. If you believe this for a second, go fucking kill yourself. Not your real self. It's your wrestling self. We don't advocate suicide. But we do support the murdering, the self-murdering of your wrestling fandom, and maybe just hanging your Bullet Club t-shirt up. For real, if you believe this, just quit. Just quit, man. Just stop. We don't need you. We don't want you. You're not one of us. The wrestlers don't want you. The companies don't. No one wants you around. If you believe this, just fucking go home. Turn it off. Change your DVR settings. Get that shit off there. Start recording The Bachelor. I think that's on Mondays. I don't know. I think that's when my wife watches it. Tuesday. Maybe just change the settings. Keep it on USA, man. Just set it back 2 hours. Get you a little Chrisley Knows Best. Just figure something different out, man. But, take up comic books or anything, but you're done with wrestling. Just fucking end it.
Yeah.
I really
don't
can't.
even have.
I can't even get over this, man. People really are fucking mad about this. People are really like, Roman's gonna. This is gonna be terrible. What a way to support women. Get the fuck out of here. You really think this? You really fucking for real? For real, right now, you can't see me, Mike. I'm standing up right now, cause I'm in so, for real, I had to get up out of my seat, you for real, really think this and got fucking upset about it. Go fucking bang your head against the wall and stick it in a bucket of water for an hour. Get the fuck out of my face. For real.
Yeah,
for real. I haven't even seen this shit, and I'm just getting more worked up by the fucking second as we sit here and I think about it, man.
The best part is when people are seeing this and calling the people out who are actually saying, oh, this could be a problem or this could really happen, that they're responding like there's no way you can believe this, and the people who are saying like, well, I mean, it's Vince, so there's at least a 1% chance. I wouldn't
put anything past Vince and Kevin Dunn at this point. Shut the fuck up. Up. You saw what happened with the James Ellsworth debacle with the Money in the Bank. You think they're ever gonna ever repeat that shit again? Ever?
Yeah, it's highly unlikely, man.
Whew, man. Alright, woosah. I gotta fucking take it down a notch.
Alright, let's take it down a notch. Let's come back. We're gonna take a quick break. And we got a few more things to discuss. We're just gonna stay on this wrestling topic, man. And
we're gonna stick with this wrestling thing. You think for the rest of the show here? Huh?
Well, what I mean is we're gonna
go ahead and stick with this wrestling thing. Oh yeah, this wrestling topic. Well, oh yeah, you think we're gonna go ahead and stick with wrestling for the rest of the show, huh? Didn't see that.
Hey, asshole. To be fair,
I thought maybe we were gonna jump onto this week's episode of Mrs. and Ms.
I mean, I haven't watched it yet, but to be fair, we have talked Teen Mom at least twice on this show. So,
man, did you watch the special they had last week? The greatest.
I have not.
Times they caused the most drama or things that the internet talked about the most. They said times Teen Mom broke the internet. I hate that fucking saying. I was trying not to say it, but. They called it Times Teen. It was great, man, because it was nothing but just, like, crazy drama and shit like that. It's awesome, but it's all them, like, with commentary on it. And Nathan, Janelle's ex, that dude's on there just, like, talking shit the whole time about everybody. He's like, yeah. He's like, everybody he talks shit about, except Chelsea. He's like, Chelsea's super nice, super likable.
Yeah, I don't usually watch the specials.
Yeah,
I don't
usually either. I just turned that one on, man. I had some time to kill. Whatevs. Anyway, fuck Teen Mom. We gotta quit talking about Teen Mom on here because we make weird things happen.
I know. Let's not do that anymore. We'll be right back, guys. Hang on tight.
Now welcome to the Queendom, where the kings bow down. Look at that girl there, hips, lips, hair, walks with a flair like she just don't care. Nobody do her.
Well, guys, I mean, the announcement was Monday. We're getting Evolution, a all-women's pay-per-view. According to Stephanie McMahon, what, 50 plus women, something like that, Mike?
Yeah, something like that. That means they're gonna have everyone on all three rosters, plus your mom, my mom. Both our wives. My niece is going to be making an appearance, I heard.
Hopefully Trish Stratus gets thrown in there as well.
I'm sure Trish Stratus will be there. I would like to see Trish Stratus in a one-off match. Just one time. Just against like Becky Lynch, so everyone can be like, wow, look how much better Becky Lynch is than Trish Stratus. Wow. Trish Stratus was just okay.
Hey now. Careful.
Dude, she wouldn't even be like, come on, man. Like, come on. You're not going to tell me she could even hold a candle. She's on that, like, AJ Lee level where it's like, yeah, you're pretty good for what we got right now, I guess.
Well, yes, that's fair. I'm not going to disagree with that. I'm just saying, back up off my Kool-Aid, man.
Like, I don't know if you listened to New Age Insiders this week.
I have not.
But they actually have like a moment where they're talking about the women in the women's division. They're talking about the same shit. Obviously, everyone's talking about it this week.
It is a
but
newsmaker.
They're like, you know why it was so easy for Charlotte to just be like the greatest of all time already? It's because all she had to do is be better than Alundra Blaze, Moolah, and Trish Stratus. That's it. That's why she's the greatest of all time already, because that's all she had to be better than. Go ahead and throw AJ Lee in there if you want,
that really downplays Charlotte a little bit. So I'm not cool with that, but I get what they're saying.
Yeah, like to be considered the greatest of all time. Those are the three that you go to, right? There's better in-ring competitors than them. I think Lita was better in-ring than all three of them. But she's not ever considered like greatest of all time.
Right.
I don't know why.
Right. No. I don't know why either, man. But something that I also don't understand, Mike, is this hate for Stephanie McMahon. The internet wrestling community, just everything this woman does on television, like they bitch and moan and complain, and it's all about Stephanie getting herself over. And like, look, you don't have to like her. For one, I think if you don't like her, she's doing her job as a on-screen bad guy. But you have to remember she is an off-screen, like, real-life high up in this company. I don't know what her official title is, but she's, like, high up there, man. She's on the board. She's whatever. You know, her husband's COO. She's probably, no pun intended, right beneath him. And, I mean,
I believe he's the chief. He's the COO, right?
Right.
So I think Vince is the CEO?
I believe. Look, it comes down to this, man. Like, business terms aside, she's a bigwig in the company.
Oh, I just looked it up, man. I Googled it. Her official title for the company is Her High Exalted Holiness, Queen Stephanie of All.
Is that her title?
That's legit. She makes, it looks like $450K a year is what that pays.
I like that.
Plus she makes another $700K. Interesting, as talent. Good for her. So most of her money comes from talent.
Amazing.
So that's the same for her husband, though.
So, like, anytime she's on screen or anytime she announces anything, especially when it pertains to the women's division, it's just everyone stops listening to what she's saying and starts trying to figure out how she's going to put herself over. And to me, it just, like, I think people forget that this is a television show and she's a character. She's a bad guy character. And maybe it's because it does intertwine with life. She also is a high up in the company. Like, it makes sense for her to be announcing these things historically related to the women of the sport, does it not?
Yeah, it does. But, with that said, I get it. I don't personally feel this way. As anybody listening to this show knows, I'm a Stephanie McMahon fan. How you doing? Done been a Stephanie McMahon fan. How you doing? Done gonna be a Stephanie McMahon fan. How you doing? She is terrifying and sexual all at the same time. Like, I'm scared of her, but like I'm also aroused by that. It's kind of how I feel about like Luna Vachon, but Luna's more of a physical thing. Stephanie's more just like a power. Like, I almost like Stephanie the same reason I like Charlotte. I just like a powerful woman, right? So anyway, but I get it.
We're learning a lot today, kids.
Because,
we're learning a lot.
A lot of what she does comes off as, I don't know if disingenuous is the right word, but it's certainly in the ballpark. It seems like she's trying to put herself over or make herself like the focal point. And I'm not saying that's what she does. I'm saying you kind of get that vibe sometimes.
See, I don't get that vibe.
Don't
and
you?
I think that's just because
I do a little bit, and I don't think she really is that way. But I just think she's the vocal. She's the fucking.
Look, man, she grew up in wrestling.
Yeah, man, she's a woman. She grew up. She's the most powerful woman that's ever existed in wrestling.
And the whole idea in pro wrestling is to get yourself over, man. Like, and I don't think, here's the thing, I don't think it's malicious. I don't think, even if it is, I don't think it's 100% on purpose if it comes off that way. But, like, I also think there's just this preconceived notion that that's what it is, and that's why people feel that way. No matter what this poor woman says, it's never going to be looked at in the way that maybe they want it to be looked at, because everyone has this preconceived notion that she's the boss's daughter and she's just trying to put herself over.
Yeah, she could come off a little bit more humble and less like a female Vince sometimes, man.
But don't we love Vince?
Yeah.
Like, for everybody
Look,
that hates
I'm not hating on
the
anything
off-screen
Stephanie does.
Vince.
Look, I'm just like arguing for the sake of arguing here. Like, I don't really agree with anything I'm saying. I just want to make that clear. Like, like I said, I love Stephanie. I would say things about her right now, but my wife occasionally listens to this. And I just don't want those things put out there in the ether. But like, I've been a fan. Like, yeah, so I don't really agree with anything I'm saying. I'm just like going through the arguments here. But like, yeah, I think like maybe sometimes I get what people are saying. I see their side of things.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think I just legit feel like people forget that this is an on-screen character just as much as a real life. You know, she has a real life job in the same company behind the scenes, and I guess maybe the intermingling of the two changes things, and maybe it doesn't happen like that for Triple H because he's a borderline legend at this point, right? And I mean, I know people still talk shit on him, but they respect him for NXT and all that jazz, and maybe that just buys him some bonus points. Maybe he does come off genuine. I mean, I even heard him choke up Monday night doing this whole announcement for his part of it. I mean, he's got to feel like a proud papa, and that's awesome, man, you know? And Steph didn't choke up, but I think Steph comes off more as like Vince. Steph she's more boastful of the company's achievements.
Steph doesn't get emotional. That shit's for Shane.
Do you think when they got back and she saw Triple H tearing up, she called him a pussy?
Yeah. You little bitch. You little bitch.
All right.
No wonder we had 3 daughters with your little bitch sperm.
You brought up contracts. You brought up contracts and money, even if it's kayfabe, or I don't know if that was legit or not, whatever you were reading. But,
no, I just made that shit up.
I figured. Another contract that is coming up is, well, 1 AJ Styles, 1 Luke Gallows, 1 Carl Anderson, and 1 Shinsuke Nakamura. The one that's getting the most attention is Shinsuke. Look, we'll go over all 4. I 100%, no doubt in my mind, AJ is probably with WWE for the rest of his active career and probably remaining in some way, shape, or form in the business with that company. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, he's legend status already.
Yep, absolutely. As for Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, I don't think, again, kind of same deal. Not that these guys are old, but they're not young in their career, and I mean, it's got to be more comfortable for them. Whether they're riding high as tag team champions or they're putting teams over, they're making good money, they're close to their family. I don't see a reason for them certainly to go back to New Japan, do you?
Nah, Bullet Club's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Now, let's take another look, man, because this is the one that's getting the most attention. I think most people agree with what we just said about the other 3. That being said, there's strong talk that New Japan actually wants to re-sign Nakamura once his contract with WWE is over.
Breaking news. Wrestling company wants to sign top wrestling star on free agent market. No shit.
Right. Yeah, no shit. A big thing is...
So does Impact and fucking Ring of Honor and Evolve and fucking,
Well, a big part of this is they're saying, like, clearly his value's way higher now. Imagine that. A guy who was huge in New Japan, came to America for WWE, and now he's worth more.
That's never happened ever in wrestling.
No. You talk to any hardcore New Japan mark, and, let's stay independent, man. Don't go to that evil WWE,
obviously,
right?
Everyone knows that's why Kenny Omega's staying in New Japan. It's where the real money and stardom's at.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, man, I just think it's funny because 90% of the comments I see is just, he should go, he should go, he should go. He sucks on WWE's roster. They don't know what to do with him, blah, blah, blah. Nobody talks about the fact that multiple sources in the company, I've heard it on podcasts, I've seen it on social media, Nakamura's got this rap of being lazy, man. Nakamura's got a rap of verbally saying I needed to change my style, and that's one of the reasons I came here. Because the New Japan style was killing him.
Yeah.
But somehow let's put it on WWE. I'm not saying that some of it's not. I'm just saying it ain't all on them.
I mean, he's obviously slowed down and changed his style. And that's funny, I'd never heard that quote. That's interesting, because now it becomes, like, really obvious in hindsight. Like, looking at it.
Right.
Like, I knew his style had changed, I just assumed. See, that's the other thing as fans, man, right there, that I just was guilty of just now. It's just, like, assuming. Oh, well, it's him having to adapt to WWE style. I didn't know this dude had laziness, a history, or a rumored history of being lazy. I didn't know this guy was coming here to slow down his style and change his style because he was tired of being the king of strong style and getting the shit kicked out of him. I didn't know that, man. I just assumed this was all WWE. See? And that's something as fans that's on us, man. We never, like, look into it. We never look into it, man. Ever.
Well, I mean, and let's just let me take a step back, man. I'll defend you and fans who didn't know this. It's not like I have an inside track. It's just I heard it. I heard him say it. I think specifically, and not in so many words, but basically saying, the style of WWE is more fitting for him as he ages. And I believe it was when he was on Chris Jericho's podcast, like before he ever came up to the main roster. I could be wrong, but I've heard it somewhere. I've heard it mentioned on other shows, other commentators like us talking about it. I've heard it or read it in different things, but like, it's not that it's necessarily, like, the dirt sheets aren't going to publicize that when they're talking about Nakamura leaving. You know what I mean? Or is Nakamura going to leave? And if we're going to paint this narrative of how WWE kills guys that come from NXT, then we're obviously not going to talk about New Japan's top guy wanting to change his style to be easier on his body as he ages, right?
No, that doesn't sell the narrative.
It sure doesn't. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I like Nakamura. I actually think he's doing the best work he's done on the main roster for sure right now. Heel Nakamura, I've said it before, best for business, right? Like, the Nutcracker Prince, I love it. I love that shit. I love his promos are now so much fun.
So much fun. So much more entertaining.
The things he says. Shinsuke and Renee are an awesome team too. Like the like chemistry between those two, I love it. And it's just like, I'd hate to see him go. Same time, as much as I like the dude, he's not one of those guys where if he does go, that I would be heartbroken. I would also understand because he's from Japan, right? I mean, it makes sense. I do feel, of the four, if one of them was to go back to New Japan, he's clearly the one that would do it, and that would be because
eventually he's going to finish his career in New Japan.
I mean, it makes sense. It does make sense. That being said, he also moved his entire family to Florida.
Yeah, it ain't in the next 2 years though.
I don't think so either. Like, and even it also wouldn't shock me if he never went back there.
Maybe. Florida's kind of crazy.
Years, Mike.
Maybe he likes
it. A couple more. He likes to surf. A couple more years, man. And I don't Granted, right now I say no, but a couple more years, maybe another title run here and there. I mean, just for his work alone in NXT, he's probably a Hall of Famer if he stays for a few more years. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Not right now, a few more years.
No, not right now. But, a couple more years, couple more belts to his name, couple more big moments. I mean, he won a Royal Rumble, for crying out loud. They don't just strap that on anyone.
No, not at all. You know what would be sweet? What he really needs, what would put him over the top? Is some kind of vest. A good vest.
Like one with
I don't know, man. I just watched Napoleon Dynamite the other day, that part where Kip's getting his picture taken. He's like, should Do you have like a vest I can wear?
I was thinking you were talking about Roman, man.
Oh,
nice chest protector.
It's like
Never hurt
good
anybody.
Chest protector. Look, man, D'Lo Brown, he gimmicked that shit for ever.
Okay, Mike. We need to wrap up, my man. But there's no way we can end today's show without talking about what happened Wednesday night on NXT on the WWE Network. Now, this of course was taped, so it was technically spoiled. A lot of us knew what happened, but I'm not sure that all of us knew how it happened. And spoiler alert, if you haven't watched NXT this week, just turn the show off now. Because you have a new NXT champion, and it's Tommaso Ciampa. You watched that match, right, Mike?
Yeah, I just watched it not too long ago.
What'd you think, man? Because I don't normally watch NXT. I don't always get a chance to catch it at all, man, but I definitely don't ever watch it when it's on. But I just happened to be in front of a TV with the WWE Network, getting ready to chill out, get an early, early time to bed with my work schedule, and I was like, you know what, man? It's about 8:30. This match is gonna be coming on. Let me turn it on, and I was just amazed on a Wednesday night.
I had planned on, usually when something cool happens on NXT or something like that, the way my schedule is, we talked about it before on here, I usually don't get to watch things till like Friday night, like late Friday night after my wife goes to bed. So I had planned on watching it tonight. I'd been hearing great things about it, and you said, yeah, I'd like to talk about it. So I watched it, and man, it was like I knew what was going to happen. I had the full thing spoiled for me. Like the ending, I guess. But it didn't, take away from it at all. It actually made it more exciting to see how we were going to get there. God, what an amazing bit of storytelling and athleticism. It was just unreal. I honestly don't even have words. There were things that happened in it that were just... Go ahead, man. I got it. I'm still gathering thoughts on it. It was that good.
Well, dude, I'm telling you, if you're still listening to this and you haven't watched this match, just pause it and go watch the damn match. It's 20 minutes out of your day, and it's 20 minutes well spent. I mean, just go freaking watch this match. But everything that was incorporated in this match, man, from the commentary to, Ciampa's entrance with no music, to just everything about it, the story they told in the ring, pretty much the whole time, and you can correct me if you think I'm wrong, but almost this whole match, man, Tommaso Ciampa looked outclassed, right? I mean,
I'll be honest with you. I thought Ciampa... You really thought he looked outclassed?
What I mean by that is in offense-wise. He wasn't putting a hurting on Black like Black was putting on him.
See, I thought for a good part of the match, it seemed like everything Black threw at him, Ciampa had an answer for.
Yeah. Well, I guess what I'm saying is the big stuff didn't pay off. The big moves that he was hoping to pay off didn't pay off. It almost looked... See, I read it as Black always had a way to get out of it. Does that make sense? It just looked like nothing was ever going to be enough. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, and just everything was going on, and you're just thinking God, I wish I would have not known what happened in this match, if that makes sense. But you're just there's no way. I don't see a finishing move ending this. I don't see a tap out ending this at all. Where is this going? And then when the ref takes a bump, you're clearly something's going to happen. Tommaso Ciampa pulls the crutch out from under the apron, hits Black, and you're there it is, right? And no, that's not it. And then the ref takes another bump, and here comes Ciampa with the belt, and here comes good old Johnny Wrestling out of the crowd to take the belt off of Ciampa before he hits Aleister Black with it. And as he pulls it out of Ciampa's hand, what happens? He flies backwards with the belt, and Gargano hits Black. The referee gets in and counts to 1, 2, 3, and we have a new NXT champion. The storytelling in that last, 5 minutes of the match was all I needed, but everything before that was just as good, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it was everything I needed in a match. And it had these amazing little moments where, early in the match, Ciampa gets a roll-up for a 2 count, and he rolls out of it. There's the kick out, he rolls out of it.
Yes.
And as he rolls out of it, he's kneeling, and he looks up at Black, and he smiles at him, and he puts 2 fingers up, and he goes, "Got 2." And it was just this perfect little fucking heel thing, where it was like, damn, you're good at this. Or there was another spot where they were trading strikes, and Black hit Ciampa, and it made it look like he was staggered for a moment, right? So Black goes to run off the ropes, and as soon as he turns and runs, Ciampa starts running right behind him. And Black jumps up on the top rope to do a springboard onto him, and he just pushes him right off. Ciampa just comes right up, pushes him right off. There are these amazing little moments throughout the match that just kept grabbing my attention like that.
It was just... Man, for everybody that says WWE can't tell stories, watch this damn match, man.
Beginning to end. This is just a beautiful thing. If you're God, it was beautiful to watch. A story was told, it was athletic.
I know that it's NXT. I know that you can sit here and say, well, that's not the main roster, man. That's not the problem. I get it. But man, be happy with what you get when you get something like this. It was just... The fact that you got to watch this on a Wednesday night and see this amazing match unfold on a taped broadcast, it just blows my mind, man.
A house show.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, that's another thing that I do want to put over, and we talked offline about this, and, you're not necessarily the biggest Aleister Black fan, and I get it, I get what you're saying, I do dig him, I think he has so much potential down the road. But, dude, Tommaso Ciampa right now, I can't, this is what I want to wrap my head around. And I didn't talk to you about this, so I'm just going to throw it at you, man. In NXT right now, you have Aleister Black, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano. Just those 3 right there, which is probably going to be... I'm going to venture to say it's going to be a 3-way at the TakeOver, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I'd say.
Okay, we've already had... I don't know what Melson rated the last one, but we've already had 2 classics with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa at the last 2 TakeOvers. You're going to add Black to this mix, and... it blows my mind. And then you keep looking at this roster. You have Undisputed Era with Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish, and it's just the talent's almost unfair. And we haven't even begun to talk about the Velveteen Dream, maybe the most pure talented guy on that roster that's completely, not completely, but is, in all honesty, still undeveloped, right?
Yeah, he's still underdeveloped.
And by the way, let's not forget about that dude they call Ricochet, man.
Oh yeah, that guy's there.
This is obviously not a competing brand, but this is another brand of the biggest company in the world that everybody says is going to fail because their ratings are down. Are you freaking kidding me?
This is maybe one of the most talented rosters in the world.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. The amount of people that are in here, and dude, I'm telling you guys, it's gonna get bigger, and it's gonna get your little favorites are gonna get scooped up off of your other shows. You know what I mean? They're going. Money talks, man, and it might not be everybody, but I can promise you, within the next year or so, you're gonna see some guys you didn't think you'd see either back or ever there in the first place, and they're gonna be there.
And not even just guys you like in general. Just
Right.
start understanding they're gone. Paul, you like Punishment Martinez? He's gone. Jay Lethal will be here eventually. Kenny Omega will be here eventually. The Bucks will be here eventually. They'll run out of. The Bucks almost have nothing left to do.
Right.
They literally have nothing left to do right now other than sell T-shirts.
Yep.
They got
Which I'm sure is doing pretty well for them.
Yeah, they're doing pretty well, but I mean, they'll get bored. Like, all these people are gonna be there eventually. It's gonna happen, guys. It's gonna happen. Just deal with it.
And I think that just kind of sums everything up, man. Like, we have an amazing roster on WWE. The business itself as a whole, worldwide, is healthier than it's ever been. And we're breaking ground with a pay-per-view that is all focused on women, man. And nothing but women. Like, let's do this shit. I told you that 2018 was going to be a huge year for wrestling. And I'm pretty sure I was right. I mean, it's shaping up that way anyway.
Sure looks that way.
And I mean, like, when I think of NXT, or when I look at NXT, you have to think of the future. And when you talk about the guys that we just talked about, and we're not even touching on the women that are going to come in for the Mae Young Classic, the women that are going to be a part of this Evolution pay-per-view that aren't on the main roster yet. I can't sit here and fathom how somebody could be against this company at this point, because they are going to forever be pro wrestling, regardless of what anyone wants to think. They hold the keys, man. No one's taking that kingdom from them.
No, never, ever, never, ever.
And we just have...
WCW was the only major competition they've ever had in that company, and they were only major competition for like 2 years.
Right.
And as a whole, they only lasted like 8 years as a company.
And to circle back, man, like, yeah, okay, Impact had the pay-per-view of the year, quote-unquote. Well, guess what, man? You gotta do more than one show like that, and they're not gonna be able to pull it off. At least not to the point where they're gonna make WWE nervous. I just don't believe that.
No one's ever gonna make them nervous.
You can't, when you're signing billion-dollar contracts, you can't make them nervous. You know what I mean?
No,
it's
not
just
when
not possible.
Not when you're cashing checks like that.
And dude, I'm all for competition, but again, billion-dollar checks eliminate a lot of competition as well. And all I'm saying is, man, let's just be happy that wrestling is healthy. Because the more promotions there are, the more indies there are that are successful, the more places there are for guys to work and develop talent, the better chance we have of seeing them on a big stage and you know, seeing everybody just absolutely shine, man.
Agreed.
I got nothing else, dude. I got nothing else. I mean, there was so much stuff going on. We could touch on Matt Riddle coming to WWE, reportedly. We could talk about Juice Robinson, who said he's never going back, and he'll probably be there in January. I mean, we could talk about all this shit, but I think we've talked enough.
Yeah, I agree. Coming soon.
Oh, here we go.
Shooting at the Mothership.
These guys got deprived of this last
comprehensive review of WCW Saturday Night Home at the Mothership here on TBS 6 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, baby. Featuring our own shooter and its sister show, Feeling the Burn. An in-depth, comprehensive review. An in-depth dissection of WWF/E Sunday Night Heat. Featuring our own shooter. Coming soon. Also, update, guys. Update on these shows. New information he gave me before this phone call started is that each show is only going to cover a half hour of each episode. So each episode of WCW, it was a 2-hour show. So each episode, it's actually going to be 4 episodes for the review. So he's really going to break it down minute by minute, move by move, hold by hold, bad promo by bad promo. So hats off. Coming soon.
Don't hold your breath.
Confirmation. He's doing it, guys. Don't let him fool you with what he has. Like, he's always like, oh no, I don't want to do that. But, like, he's got 4 episodes in the can to use.
Are you done?
Yeah, I got shit to do today.
Guys, I say it every week. It's been real. It's been fun. We will catch you next time.
You guys are beautiful. We love you. Have a good week.
Thanks for nothing. You're dismissed. Bye-bye.